and evil. They have the same soul. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another random horror review. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, episode 59 is upon us, and I've got another one here for midnight releasing. Yes, now when I first seen the cover art for this one, I didn't really know what to expect. At first I thought it was a slasher film, but I was like, nah. So I kind of looked into it a little bit more. Turns out this is a British/Italian production. And what I mean by that is that this film was done in the UK using British actors, but directed by two Italian directors by the names of Marzotto and Roberto del Piccolio. Probably butchered the living shit out of those names, but Italian names are hard to pronounce, let's face it. So anyways, this movie was produced in 2015 and came out on home media for midnight release in 2016, and it is called Evil Souls. Yes, look at that mask right there. So you can't blame me for thinking that it might be a slasher film, but it's completely not a slasher film. Now, get into the synopsis of this one. Basically, this one is about two childhood friends by the name of Jess and Susan. They have just both had their sons kidnapped, and then they also find themselves being abducted by this maniac by the name of Valentine. They wake up in this kind of dingy dungeon type deal, chained to the walls and stuff, with having no idea what's going on. They don't know what's happened to their children. They don't know what's going to happen to them. Meanwhile, you have a pastor or a priest named, I think it's a priest actually, father named Albert, who's trying to save the soul of this prostitute named Maddie. And then he learns that Jess and Susan have been abducted, and Maddie might have some type of connection to the person that has done this. So he kind of looks into it further, and he discovers that there may be like a really huge diabolical plan for the children and for the two girls that were abducted. So he starts to investigate further, and now he's made it his mission to save everybody and stuff. So that is basically the premise of the film right there. Now, my thoughts on this one. Now, if I have to describe this film, I would describe it as a jarring nightmare. And what do I mean by jarring nightmare? First, getting to the jarring part, this movie right here is not your typical A to B linear type story. This one kind of, it tells a story, it's like very non-linear. It's told in different parallels. It's got like 2 or 3 different stories, and it kind of bounces back and forth. It's not that A to B linear. It's like A, B, A, B, A, B type story. So it bounces around quite a bit, and you really do have to pay attention. What do I mean by nightmare? Well, this movie captures a very kind of sinister, atmospheric, very serious tone type film that is, it just kind of gets in your head. It's making you think, and it's very nightmarish. A jarring nightmare is a perfect example of what this film really is. Now, to the film itself, now, this is the type of film that I really do enjoy because it's not a spoon-fed film to you at all. Now, like I said, the story's not told from A to B. It's all over the place, but that's not really what it is. It just really makes you think. There's a lot of things that are going on. It's kind of slow-paced with the story, but then when, everything kind of comes together in the third act, it really does make sense, and it really keeps making you think. Even after the credits roll, it makes you think because it's one of those type of films. Now, what the film is, it's kind of like a religious. It has things to do with religion, and even the Marquis de Sade is brought up in this film and stuff. And I'm not really going to give you a lot of what exactly it's about. I want you to go in, more blind than anything. But it has stuff to do with that, which is very cool because these type of films make you think, and I love that about it. Non-spoon-fed films, they just don't happen a whole lot. And with that said, this movie definitely is not for everybody, because I know a lot of people like to just kind of sit down, watch a film, not really think too hard about it. Yeah, this one is definitely not going to be for you if you just enjoy those type of films. It's a British film, like I said, so I did have the subtitles on because, a lot of the dialogue and stuff is with that hard accent and stuff. You kind of have to have that because there's a lot of religious talk and things I don't want to miss. As to the specs in the film, now I think the acting in this film was really good. It was really well done. I think Valentine kind of steals the show. He is the diabolical maniac in the film. awesome mask, but he does a really good job. He looks the part. He's got the long hair, very sinister dialogue in this film. I think the girls that are abducted in the film did a really good job too. Maddie as the drug, alcoholic prostitute, she does a pretty good job, as does the priest also. I think everyone in this film does a great job. There's not a lot of characters because it kind of bounces back and forth between those 5 or 6 characters, but they all do a pretty solid job. Like I said, very atmospheric. It's shot very well. It's edited pretty well. It's kind of choppy at times. I think scenes at times I felt like were just kind of chopped off. That might have been the way they intended it to be, but yeah, going back to the jarring aspect, that's what I meant by that, because you'll have one scene that's down the basin, it'll cut to the pasture, and it'll go back and forth, and so it's very kind of, it's jarring at times, but overall, the whole film has a really good tone. It's played dead serious. There's no comedy whatsoever about this film. It's a not psychological thriller, but it's more of a psychological film. There's a lot of undertones and, things that are going on that you really kind of have to think about, which I do like. Now, with a film like this, I was expecting to be like super gory and things like that. There isn't a lot of blood and gore in this film, but when it happens, it's really well done. It looks good. And yeah, it's all practical effects too, which is such a bonus, man. Such a bonus to have great acting, great atmosphere, and great practical effects and stuff. So I wish that there could have been just a little bit more effects in this one because they were so well done, but I'll take what I get, and for the most part they were really cool. But overall, my final thoughts, this is a very sinister film. It keeps you thinking, like I said, after the credits, but you're kind of going for the first hour of the film, like, where's this thing going? But you really are intrigued by the story because you're going, what exactly is this guy's plan and what's going on? Of course, the third act hits when everything comes together, and you do get some twists and turns here and there, and I think they're pretty well executed. I was like, okay, I had an idea of what was going on, and I kind of guessed things here and there, but maybe not everyone might do that, so who knows. But twists and turns, always good, keep you thinking. I thought it was a really good, well put together film, and mad props to these directors for doing this type of film. Kind of trying something a little bit different. It's not the most different story in the world, but maybe the structure and the way things happen and stuff are. But yeah, Evil Souls, not your typical type film. I do recommend this one. I'm going to give it about a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely give this one a shot. Like I said, it's not for everybody, so if you like films that make you think, a little jarring at times, so don't watch this film if you're kind of being distracted or whatever. Sit down late at night, watch this one all by yourself, and it might do the trick. So Evil Souls, that is my review for the film. 7.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed it, guys, so give it a shot. Anyways, that's going to do it for episode 59. I will check you guys later in episode 60. And as usual, peace! Movie quote time. This film literally made me cover my eyes and watch the film through my fingers. Horrorcritic.com. It's got a pretty scary idea. It keeps making you think.